Hey, allegedly, you are first. You must have got your notification.
What?
All right, so today we are going to talk about Madalina Cojocari again. She is still missing. She's 11 years old, from Cornellius, North Carolina. She has brown hair, brown eyes, and weighs about 90 pounds. I feel like she was 4'10", if I remember my notes correctly. Not a lot of updates, but there are a few. So I wanted to bring those to you because I want to keep the word out there about this little girl. So here is a news video from last night that will kind of bring us up to speed.
With the breaking news here at 6 o'clock, in the last hour, several Cornelius police SUVs showed up outside the home of Madalina Cojocari. The 11-year-old's been missing for nearly a month. We're pushing to find out what is happening right now at the home. Thanks for watching WBTV. I'm Jamie Bowl.
And I'm Siobhan Bryan. This development comes at the end of a day in which we got new details from court, and we're diving deeper into the law surrounding missing kids. We're going live to our Lowell Rose in that Cornelius neighborhood. Lowell, it was around 5:15 today. You called the newsroom to tell us what you were seeing out there. Did you have any indication this police presence would be out there tonight? And what have you learned so far?
Well, we didn't have any indication of what was going to happen here. We were simply doing updates today about the arrest and arrest sheets of the parents of Madalina Cojocari. Again, shortly after 5 o'clock, if you reference the video that I tweeted out, we saw about 4 vehicles, 4 SUVs from Cornelius Police pull up in front of the home of Madalina Cojocari. Shortly after, we saw roughly a dozen officers in front of the home line up. And as you can see through that video, you can see the officers do enter that home, what appears to be searching the home. Now, we haven't been able to get any information as to what's happening here, but I can tell you that crime scene investigation truck is here, along with roughly a dozen plainclothes Cornelius police officers here on the scene, and we're approaching roughly the hour mark. This happened shortly after 5 p.m. earlier today when we saw those crews pull up here in front of that home. And again, we're preparing for just an update about the parents here and about law, what led to the parents' arrest, Kaylee's law here in North Carolina. We talked to the lawmaker and what was based on the high-profile case in Florida and what led to this law being enacted nearly 10 years ago.
It brings back a lot of memories.
Kelly Hastings, a state representative in North Carolina, sees the similarities between the disappearance of Madalina Cojocari and Kaylee Anthony.
A child that age, and nobody seemed to report that disappearance to law enforcement. Allegedly, that's what I've understood.
Madalina Cojocari was missing for 22 days before police was notified, and that's after the school counselor and school resource officer did a home visit and requested a meeting with the mother. Kaylee's law makes it illegal to not report a child missing after 24 hours.
The 24-hour period is designed, my understanding is from law enforcement, that first few days is really important in trying to find the person. And once you move on beyond a number of days, the risk factor goes up that there's been some sort of harm.
Now, as of right now, the mother and stepfather of Madalina Cojocari are in jail right now facing charges of failure to report her missing to police. Again, she went missing for 22 days before the police even knew this was a thing. Reporting live in Cornelius, Lowell Rose, WBTV, on your side.
Meanwhile, that search goes on behind Lowell. WBTV is staying on your side, bringing you every development in the search for Madalina. Ahead on your side tonight, we'll take you back live to that area for the latest on that police activity. Just keep checking back in with us on air and online.
Okay, let's see. Thank you, Linda. Hello, Phantasmic Ether. Yeah, I'm trying to stay warm. My computer says it's 4 degrees outside. Last time I checked, the wind chill was like -11, I think. And the wind is blowing like crazy. And y'all know we're sick and I can't get warm. My hands and feet are so cold they hurt. So my mom used to say you lose most of your heat from your head. So I put my hat on even though I'm in the house. And Linda, I don't know if you saw my previous video, my rant. I'm going to keep sticking with it. I got a little frustrated yesterday because I'm a small channel. Now, I'm not frustrated because I'm small. I'm frustrated that I want to cover cases like this, but I don't have the reach to get it out there like I want it to. So, you know, I was kind of having this back and forth with myself of, am I accomplishing what I wanted to with my channel? Am I doing any good at all? And finally, I just realized that even if only a few hundred people watch my video, that's a few hundred more people maybe that didn't know before. So I'm just going to keep doing what I do. And just so you know, like I said, we're sick. We've got like Rona and flu flying around. So my husband's home, my daughter's home. The dogs are in the house because it's cold. And Steve is watching his soap opera. But my husband's home. And he tends to be crabbier when my husband's home for some reason. So you may hear from Steve. I don't know. But like I said in my other video, this is me. This is who I really am. I'm not putting on any airs or any front that, you know, I'm perfect or my life is perfect. You know, we have bad days. We're crabby. Sometimes you'll hear my family in the background and they're laughing and joking. And sometimes you'll hear them in the background and they might be bitching. Sometimes the dogs are fighting. Sometimes they're happy and they just want to be on YouTube. Sometimes Steve's happy and sometimes he's not. And it is what it is. That's just what you get from my channel. So hopefully it brings something to you. It means something to you. And we're just going to go. So yes, Betty, it's one more person. You're exactly right. I mean, you know, this time next year, maybe we'll be bigger. Maybe we'll be reaching more people. But like I said in my last video, I refuse to sell myself out and put clickbait out there or sensationalize stories or bring you things that I don't believe are true or relevant to any particular case. Hi, Brett. Hello. Everybody say hi. My son's in the chat. Hello. He has the cutest outfit on today, you guys. He's got his Snoopy Christmas sweater on and a snowman hat that he wore to work. And he said it made everybody smile. So that was really awesome. So he's out there in Massachusetts spreading that Christmas joy. Brett is actually the son who we lost, the member of the family. It's his wife's brother's wife who passed away. So I know you all were sending your condolences and prayers, and I'm sure that Brett would be glad to pass those along for all of us. So, all right, so let's get into what's going on with Madalina. Well, we still really don't know, but in that news clip, they talked about Kaylee's Law, which is fantastic. It was passed after the Kaylee. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm crushing it, Brett. Oh my gosh, the Kaylee Anthony case. And now, not all states have it, but some have adopted this law, and it is a felony for a parent or caregiver not to report a child missing if they haven't had contact with that child for 24 hours. And if you're like an outside person from the family and you know a child is missing and you don't report it, I believe it's a misdemeanor. But for the parents, it's a felony. And we know the mom and the stepdad are both in jail. Stepdad's bail was increased from $100,000 to $200,000, and mom's was increased from $100,000 to $250,000, and she has the additional condition that if she is released somehow, she has to be electronically monitored. You know, Bright, you're right. I watched an Upchurch video this morning about Kylie. So yeah, he does have me thinking about her. Actually thinking about making another video because a lot of people think the case is done, but it is still open. It's still an active investigation. So I just kind of want to remind people that it is still going on. But back to Madalina. So I'm assuming Kaylee's law is probably part of why they were able to hold them at $100,000 bond. And then when they went for their first court appearance, the prosecutor argued for the bonds to be increased because of the severity of the charge. And I'm glad that they did. Now, stepdad has had good jobs. They've got a really nice house and all of that, but they haven't made bond. I don't care. I hope they stay in. But I was wondering, if stepdad gets out, do you think he's going to bail mom out or just let her sit? Because I'm not convinced one way or the other if they're in on it together or not. I mean, obviously they both know she's gone, but I don't know if they both were part of her being gone, or if one, as in the Summer Wells case, one got her gone and the other one just knows about it. I don't know how I feel about that yet. There's just so much weird things in this case that I can't put my finger on it, but neither one of them is not guilty of something. So, okay. So last night, I found out, I told you I've been talking with some locals, and they told me before I saw the news video that there were police in the neighborhood, and it was a pretty large presence. You can see in this picture, that's her house in the background, and then all the other cars are law enforcement. And it was quite a big presence, and everybody was kind of hoping that something broke, that this was a good sign. And I mean, it's I guess a good sign. Maybe they had this crime scene search truck out there, and they did leave the house with evidence bags and a box, and I'm wondering if they found something significant maybe in her room, or we talked about the couch burning. If it was something from the living room, that right there, that's definitely an evidence collection kit, like for DNA and things like that, fingerprints, what have you. So they haven't come out and said anything specific that was recovered. And of course, I still don't know when they dug up the yard if they found anything, if the cadaver dogs hit on anything. They haven't really come out and said anything specific. They didn't really clear up if they found anything when they were searching the water. So I don't know. I think if they had found something in the water, we would know, because people were out there watching them as they searched. And I think somebody probably would have said, oh, I saw them pulling out whatever. But as we talked, Lake Norman is massive. So they've got a lot of water to cover. It was 500 and something miles of shoreline. So, they've got a big load. The family came out with a letter today, and the police put it out on their social media, and I'm assuming they didn't say who in the family, but I'm assuming it's stepdad's side of the family, because all of Diana's family is in Moldova and they all speak Romanian, unless they dictated this to somebody. But it's a handwritten letter that was given to police, and it's dated today, and it says, "We as a family are devastated and absolutely heartbroken to learn that Madalina is missing. We love Madalina and are shocked by these circumstances. This is something no child or family should ever have to endure. Our family is doing everything we know to do to support the efforts to find Madalina and bring her home. We are and continue to have hope and positivity in this difficult time and pray that she is found safe very soon. We know and greatly appreciate that the local, state, national, and online communities have come together to share flyers and offer positive support, hold prayer vigils, support law enforcement, and are doing everything possible to find and bring Madalina safely home. We are also appreciative of all the efforts, endless hours, and boots on the ground of the local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies involved with the same goal." Sorry, it's kind of hard to read that handwriting. It goes on to say, "Madalina is a beautiful, smart, kind, and loving 11-year-old girl with greatness in her future. We are desperate to find her right now. She needs all of our help. We ask for your continued positive support in sharing far and wide the posters and pictures of Madalina. Each and every share may be one step closer to finding her. If you believe you have seen Madalina or have any information related to her whereabouts, please contact your local law enforcement agency or the Cornellius, North Carolina Police Department and come forward with this information. Anything may help. Our family would like to express sincere gratitude to each and every one of you for your support. Our family will continue to do everything we know and learn to do for Madalina's safe return home." And they signed it "Blessings" with no name. So, like I said, I think that is the stepfather's side of the family, but I can't be positive. I just kind of want to go over, well, first of all, who do you think will talk first? Stepdad or mom? Because I feel like if stepdad did this, mom is probably scared. We know in the arrest report, she had talked about conflict. She had talked about, there's Steve. She had talked about David putting their family in danger, and that she felt like reporting Madalina missing would cause conflict between her and David. So I don't know if she would turn on him or not. Now, if he's responsible and he lets her sit in jail, she might. And with him, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like he would turn on her probably easier than she would turn on him. But he hasn't yet, which almost makes me feel even more like he's involved. And we're going to talk about the stories and basically like how their interaction would have gone down, and it doesn't add up. So if you remember, mom, she's kind of given two different times that she saw her. So to me, the last time that we know that Madalina was seen is here. getting off the bus on the 21st of November. To me, I know she's alive and okay there. I don't know if I can believe what Diana's telling me, but I know on the 21st she's alive and well. Thank you, crafty lady. Welcome. Let me see little chicken Steve looking. But Mom said that her and David had an argument on the 23rd, I believe. Or was that the night we left? Let me go back to my notes because I want to make sure I get it right. Yeah, she went missing on the 23rd. So apparently Christopher and Diana, gosh, I cannot get my names right today, had an argument over, of all things, whether or not to buy gold and silver. You know how they have those commercials out there that are like, you know, invest in gold and silver, send X amount of money and we'll send you these bars of gold and silver. Apparently they had an argument about that. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it was probably about something else, but this is what we're going to have to go with for now. So they have this argument about buying gold and silver. And the mom sees Madalina around 11. She went to bed. And that's the last time she saw her. Now, according to stepdad, they're all living in the same house, right? But he hasn't seen Madalina for a week before she went missing. I don't know how that's possible, but in his arrest documents, he says he didn't see her for about a week before she went missing. Very bizarre. So the next day at like 11:30 in the morning, Mom realizes, I haven't seen Madalina. I guess I'm going to go check on Madalina, and she's not in her bed. And Steve has left to drive to Michigan because after living in North Carolina all these years, he decides there's some stuff at my parents' house and I have to have it, and I have to have it now. Now, I don't know if it was a spur of the moment trip. Maybe it was planned, but they never say it was planned. And with it being around Thanksgiving, I would think if it was a planned trip, it would have been like, hey, we'll go see my family for Thanksgiving, and while we're there, I'll pick up whatever these important items are. But he doesn't take Diana and allegedly doesn't take Madalina. He just drives up there to get these items. So he's gone. He's on the road. He's headed to Michigan to get who knows what. And she finds that Madalina's not in her room. Okay, I assume, she doesn't say, but I assume she looks around for her and she doesn't find her. Well, she does nothing. She doesn't frantically call David, why do I keep calling this guy David? She doesn't call Christopher and say, hey, did you happen to take Madalina with you to Michigan and forget to tell me because I just checked her room and she's not there. Like, I know we had an argument. Maybe you forgot to tell me. Is she with you? No, she doesn't do that. She doesn't do that. At some point, she does call her family in Moldova and tells them that Madalina's missing. And they say, hey, you should call the police. And she's kind of like, yeah, maybe. But she doesn't call. Even though they suggest she call, she doesn't call. She doesn't post on social media. Hey, has anybody seen Madalina? Nothing. No mention of Madalina. Her family technically could call the police. They could call an embassy, a consulate, whatever, and be like, hey, I talked to my daughter or my niece or whatever, and she can't find her daughter. She's afraid to call the authorities, but something's wrong. But they don't contact anybody either, and they don't post on their social media about it. So 2 days pass. Stepdad gets to Michigan, gets whatever items, and drives back. He gets back to North Carolina at about 7 on the 26th. And he walks in, and it goes probably something like this. I'm mom now. Have you seen Madalina? No, I'm dad. No. Have you seen Madalina? No. Are you hiding Madalina? No. Are you hiding Madalina? No. That's it. That's all we got. That's all we got from the arrest documents. That was their conversation. It's a little weird, don't you think? A little weird. It's like if one of my dogs, like I said, we have like 25 acres. We live in the middle of nowhere, and some of them like to go on adventures. And if I let the dogs out and everybody comes back but one, like Odie is famous for going on adventures. So let's say everybody comes back except Odie. I'm freaking out. Me and Colleen are out walking the property, yelling for Odie, can't find him, and we don't know what to do. I mean, chances are he's probably out there just ignoring us, but if my husband's on the way home from work, or even if he's not, if he's at work, I still call him and I'm like, I let the dogs out and Odie didn't come back. He's been gone for like an hour. And he's normally like, okay, babe, he'll be back. Don't worry. And if he's on his way home, I'm always like, keep an eye out for him because I don't know, he might be walking down the road to meet him or something. And that's a dog, right? I mean, they're like my kids, but I panic when I can't find my dog. I'm calling my husband immediately when he's like an hour away saying, oh my God, Odie's gone. And she waits for 2 days to talk to her husband, waits till he comes home to say, hey, have you seen Madalina? Who does that? I mean, make it make sense. Does this make sense to any of you? Let's see what you're saying. Linda, exactly. Linda said, how do we know anything they have said is true? Exactly. We don't. And honestly, I don't trust anything they are saying because it makes no sense. You know, and you think they waited like 3 weeks to report her missing. I would think in that time they could have got their shit together enough to come up with a better story. Something that kind of made sense in some world that we could be like, well, maybe. But I don't know. Let's see. Betty says there are lots of places to bury a body between North Carolina and Michigan, just saying. You know, and his family posted on their social media yesterday that she could be anywhere between Michigan and North Carolina. And I thought that was very odd because the mom stayed in North Carolina, right? The only one that went to Michigan was stepdad, allegedly. So if they're saying that she could be somewhere between North Carolina and Michigan, it kind of leads you to believe that Madalina was with him. I mean, at least that's the direction that I took it. So I thought that was kind of weird. Yeah, and asking about hiding your child. I don't know what that would mean. I've been married, well, the biggest part of my life. And if one of our kids was missing, I can't even imagine a point that I would be like, babe, are you hiding one of the kids? That would not even enter my thinking. Now, I could see if I got up and he was going, I don't know, back to Illinois to see his family. And for whatever reason, I wasn't going, which I probably wouldn't because I don't like Illinois. But let's say it's the three of us here. It's me, my husband, and my daughter. I get up, my daughter's not here. Well, Madalina apparently didn't have a phone, so let's pretend my daughter doesn't have a phone. I can't find her. He's driving on the road. He's on his way to Illinois. The first thing I do is call him and say, did Colleen go with you? And that's probably followed by a lot of cuss words like, why the hell didn't you tell me she was going with you? Like, leave me a note, send me a text, wake me up, tell me what, that's normal. I don't wait 2 days till he comes back and say, have you seen Colleen? Now, stepdad's been in Michigan. If the last time you saw Madalina was in her room in North Carolina, how's this guy that's been in Michigan going to have seen her? That doesn't make sense at all. And we, like I said, maybe we're a weird family, but when we're going somewhere, we say, hey, I'm going wherever, bye, love you. When we get there, we call, we text, whatever, hey, I made it, I love you. Even my boys, I don't know if Brett's still in here, but my grown-ass boys are on my Life 360. If I haven't heard from them and wonder where they're at, all I have to do is open my app and I can see where they're at. If they're going, my other child, the middle child, he is in San Francisco with his in-laws for Christmas, and he went to the Golden Gate Bridge and he went to Alcatraz, and he was messaging me, hey, we're on the ferry. Okay, we made it to Alcatraz. Messaging me the whole time. Okay, we're leaving. Okay, we made it back. I mean, he didn't call even and say, like, I made it to Michigan, I guess, because she didn't talk to him till he walked back in at 7 o'clock 2 days later to ask him, where is Madalina? And then his response is like, are you hiding her? Why would that even enter your thinking? Why would she be hiding her? Is there a reason that she should be hiding Madalina from the stepdad? It's weird. And then apparently she asked him in return, are you hiding her? Well, why the hell would he be hiding her from the mom? It's a very odd question. It is a very odd question. But that was the conversation, and then apparently nothing else. And at no point, I guess, did it enter their minds, maybe we should call law enforcement. Even 2 days later would have been better than 3 weeks later, but they don't call. They don't go around the neighborhood and say, hey, did you happen to see Madalina walk by? Anything suspicious? Ask for camera footage? Anything. None of it. I mean, he had next door neighbors very close by. Wouldn't you at least go to your next door neighbors and be like, did you happen to see her? Or did she come over here? Like, I don't know, maybe the fight freaked her out, and because they said some of her clothes in a backpack were missing from her room. So, maybe go ask. I don't know. The mom says she didn't have any friends, but it is coming out through the people I've talked to and people on social media that she had friends at school. Maybe reach out to the school and say, can you ask, or I guess they were on break, but, reach out even on social media and be like, hey, if your kid goes to school with Madalina, have you seen her? Did she walk over to your house? Did something? But they didn't do anything. They did not look at all, from what I can tell. They didn't sound an alarm on social media. They didn't talk to the police. Nothing. The most that was done was she told her family. From what I can tell, he didn't tell his family. They didn't find out until all this news broke. And now they're all, wanting to find her, which is great. But I would, if my mom and dad were still alive, I'd be calling them immediately. I've still got a brother. I would call him. He's in Virginia, but I'd still be calling him saying, Colleen's missing. I mean, none of this is normal to me. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, obviously, we're not, let's put her poster up here. We're not gonna put any stock in what the parents are saying because it doesn't add up. I mean, like I said, you've got that amount of time and this is what you come up with, but their stories don't even match. You would think they could at least get their stories to align. The fact that the dad said, I didn't see her for about a week before she went missing, but you live in the same house? How is that possible? How is that possible? I don't think it is. And then she waits 2 days. I don't care how big an argument I had with my husband. If my kid was missing, I would be on the phone with him immediately. I wouldn't be like, oh, he made me mad, I'm not calling him. My kid's missing. That's more important than anything else in the world. I don't care what you argued about. If it was gold and silver or if it was about getting a divorce, if your kid's missing, you pick up the phone and you call and say, I can't find her. And if she's not with him, he should have turned around and come back and helped look for her, in my opinion. Exactly, Steve. That's what I heard too, that burning couches there is a big no-no. And it's not allowed by the homeowners association of that subdivision. Yeah, guys, I don't know. I mean, I agree with everything you're saying. I just don't know really where to point the finger at this point. A lot of people have been talking about trafficking, and did he pick the mom because she had the daughter? Because remember, he's 60, she's 37, she's from Moldova. And I mean, he decided he wanted to get married and he wanted a wife from over there. He even knows Romanian. Like, he knew this is what he wanted. He has that second language. He could have picked anybody, but he picked her, and she had a daughter. And apparently he was okay with that. So, I don't know, Betty Jr., because, by Ramblin' Rome, the mom said that she thought the stepdad had put their family in danger. And I've heard rumors that there's like a gambling problem and things like that. I don't know if it's true, but maybe he was in debt to somebody. I don't know. And I told you yesterday, I heard there is a large Moldovan community there. And I had kind of wondered if, maybe she had gotten Madalina to somebody and got her back to Moldova. If she thought Madalina wasn't safe, maybe she had gotten her back to Moldova. But if she had, and she's sitting in jail, don't you think she would have said, Madalina's okay, I sent her back to Moldova? And they could have verified that, and we wouldn't be here right now. So I don't know. There's just so much that doesn't add up, but none of it looks good. None of it looks good. And I don't know. I want to keep putting her story out there because I've seen a few YouTubers cover it. One was a bigger channel, which was good, but not a lot of us are covering it. It is getting some national news, but honestly, I get maybe one breaking news alert about this a day, and I get so many about Idaho, and there's not really much new to tell about Idaho, you know, and that's frustrating. So we need to share her poster because the FBI said that's the best way we can help, is to flood social media with her face. So her posters are on all of my social media. It's on both my Facebook pages, my Instagram, my Twitter. I think I even posted them on the community tab here on YouTube. If I didn't, I will today. But we need to keep it out there because we can't just let this get swept under the rug. You know, another story is going to come along and they're not going to talk about Madalina anymore. And it's important and it needs to be talked about. So share my video even on your social media. Maybe somebody will watch it. And they've been using hashtag Find Madalina. So anytime you share it, make sure to use the hashtag. You can use that or hashtag Madalina Cojocari. And that way, if somebody's searching for information, they can get to it quickly. They can find your post by following the hashtag. So share the video, like the video. The likes and the comments really help boost it and get it out there in that algorithm. And that, for videos like this on the lesser known cases, is really important to me. On the bigger cases, yeah, I make videos about them, but everybody's talking about them. I'm not worried that people aren't hearing about it. These videos are the ones I worry about. These are the ones that I really want pushed out there, up in the algorithm, so they're suggested to other people and they can learn about it. The story needs to spread. You know, Idaho's everywhere, and Madalina's not, and she deserves to be. You know, maybe I like to try to stay hopeful. What if she is out there somewhere and she is okay, and somebody sees her picture and they recognize her and we could get her home? How great would that be? How great would that be? And liking and sharing is all it would take. So please do that for me. Share her poster, share my video. And if you like my style, my channel, go ahead and subscribe. It's free. It's absolutely free. And if I get larger numbers, I can reach more people. And that is the goal, is to get these lesser known, less covered stories out there to more people. So thank you guys so much for joining me on this live today while I sit here and freeze. I've got my Rebel Without a Claws hoodie on today that my husband bought me, and it's covered with dog hair because I've been cuddling with them trying to stay warm. While we've been on here, the temperature went up to 5. That's exciting. I don't like winter, you guys. I was so happy to move back home to Oklahoma, not to have to deal with the Illinois winters anymore. I'm not a fan, but thank you, Linda. I like your style as well. And thank you so much, Eudora's Mama's Garden. I don't think she's in here right now, but she sent Christmas presents. She sent 4 bags of treats to the dogs. She's got Christmas presents for Steve. A toy came yesterday for the dogs, and she got me the nicest, comfiest, cozy socks. And I hate socks, but these are like the best things I've ever put on my feet. And she got it all from my Amazon wish list, and I was so surprised. I was like, holy cow, how cool is that? And I want to thank everybody that has sent money on CashApp or PayPal or Venmo, because YouTube takes a chunk. If you send me money through YouTube, they take a big percentage. But if you send it other ways, I get the whole thing. And it all goes back into the work we're doing here on the channel. So thank you to everyone that has done that. The dogs appreciate it. Steve appreciates it. And I appreciate it so much. It's very sweet of you all. I told my husband I never thought I'd be one of those YouTubers that people send stuff to. It's so sweet. Like, you take time out of your day and you think of me. I mean, that's awesome. I feel like you guys are part of my family. At least my very good friends. So, okay. I'm going to get off here and work on some other things to do, some other videos, and I will see you all very soon. Everybody stay safe, stay warm, and as always, I will see you all in the next one. Bye.